Greetings everyone, hello and welcome back once again to Frostpunk 2. Boy, it's been a while and this game just received a massive new expansion, Fractured Utopia, that is adding a lot of new mechanics to the endless mode. My favorite mode in this game, of course, and we're jumping right into this one. Onto one of the new maps that the game also goes for, the Forsaken Valley, a massive sprawling land where we can develop our city with lots of resources and also some geothermal sites as well. Now this DLC adds a lot of new, especially scenarios to the game. One of them is the plague that I'm playing here right now. So there is a sickness that is appearing during the course of this game and we have to find a cure and have to fight it. Well, in the middle of all of this is our generator in Sleepy Hollow, a town of 8,000 souls that are starting here, and these guys here, they need guidance. Together with our factions, the laborers, the machinists, and the merchants. We're starting right away with our very first housing district, because we got 62 people homeless right now. We could also call them, well, families, that is. And we do have a bit of food left, right? So 50,000 in the food stockpile, so this lasts us a bit. We have no machine or materials at all, no goods at all. A bit of coal is left, so this will be probably one of my starting points. Before we build the housing district, let's just see where we have the food. There is some food over here together with some geothermal plants here, or geothermal sites, springs, very good. So I would like to start my expansion into this direction here right away, so we can take some of those foodie sites in. In fact, there's 3 geothermal springs here, so I can really see a nice source of power here in the future for us to utilize. The other frost break, let's just check it out, is probably, I would like to combine my frost breaking, but this is going to be hard, what I can see, because over here we got the materials that we're going to need. We got some more coal, alright. So as a matter of fact, I think frost breaking into this direction here makes the most sense to me, because we basically can go into the food, the coal, the materials, and an old way station over there that we can use for exploration. So I would like to do this here right away. In the wasteland, we're starting to get rid of some of that frost. In the meantime, we can start with our first housing district now. So of course we would like to use the proximity bonus to the maximum, so that we get the heat bonus from the generator in the surrounding districts right over there. One of the central mechanics basically. Right now we have all the heat allocated that we need. However, I can see that there's gonna be some temperature drops soon. So of course we will need to prepare for all of this by quickly getting ahead here with our first districts and also our first special buildings. The council hall is the very first one that I would also like to add now here in the center. Finish the plague tale, that is our main goal really, but also have a significant population living in this colony here, 35,000. Balmy -20 degrees right now. That's even t-shirt temperatures out. Balmy. Now, we continue with, the coal is the primary focus here. Also taking that food in. So we can now dig into this area, but I would also like to dig into this area where we have those materials right away. And by the way, since all of this costs me lots of money, I'm inclined to take some money from one of my factions. The merchants we have, the machinists we have, and the laborers we have. 150, these give me 160. The machinists are rather, neutral faction in the middle of it. They usually do not go to extremes. So I'm gonna raise the funds from them to get me that money for the frost breaking that we need. Council hall established, and with that we can start the lawmaking process of Sleepy Hollow, deciding how my people have to live. Propose a law, the very first one. I usually like to go for my basic necessities. I think, we're gonna see some new laws here that I'm looking forward to as well. Paid essentials increases the efficiency of all of my buildings, my extraction, industrial, and food districts, and on top of that, my heat stamp, income is increased as well. This has a pretty high approval rating. Nevertheless, I could also negotiate with one of the other factions to also make them a bit happier, since the machinists are, a bit unhappy right now because I got money from them. I might give them also something. Allow productive outsiders as one of the laws that they would like. You know what? I think we can do this without any promises, as the approval rating is really high for this law. Very good.
The votes are
And with that, we get the law passed without having to do any promises or something like that. This gives me a bit of a boost here to my income, 15 per week right now. But it also makes sure that my buildings will produce a bit more. Alrighty, my first housing district is coming along now splendidly. I would like to expand it right away, because this gives me the opportunity of having a building inside. And I would like to very much do this. Main focus really is to build more housing, right? So I'm going to have another housing on the other side of town, so that we can sprawl then up here to the north. Because having homeless people is the most dangerous thing in this game. And I'm going to have another housing district over here. So that's 3 of them. Very expensive, of course. My frost breaking continues. And we're now pushing into that coal side over there. I would like to, of course, immediately get the infinite one in. Very good. We're having another frost break towards the old way station, so that we can start with some exploration. And I think also here, have we already made it? Yes. We could build the extraction district now. I'm gonna have another smaller frost breaking over there though. Gorgeous maps this game provides. So this of course is on the highest details once again. I love the frost. And look at that, these geothermal springs, they're gonna be nice for us, I have a feeling. Of course, we need to research that first, but once we have it, it's gonna be nice. Very important that we finish that expansion over here. There you go. And we can now put a research district right down in the middle of this neighborhood. My money is running low again. I might consider also now taking some money from my laborers or from the merchants. Let's take it from the merchants. That's a bit more money again that we can raise to especially boost my research now. But of course, this also lowers my trust rating. Alright, it's time to get the first coal district now going, extraction. And it's gonna be, of course, out here to also get that infinite one in. And I would also like to get the material production going now. It's also one of the more important ones. Without materials, you cannot repair districts, thus nothing functions. We have provided now housing for everyone with the latest housing district. For now, we're good in this area.
The price of gruel has been reduced this week only.
And we have unlocked the research district right over here. And we can now start with researching in the idea tree. One of my first ones usually is the factory. It doesn't matter in what kind of order we go here, because we unlock them all rather quickly and they're all rather cheap. The factory provides me with a steady income of prefabs, that's required for building something, and then also goods, that is a consumer good that we can provide to my population in order to keep them happy. In this case here, I'm probably gonna go with the mechanical factory here. This is favorable for the machinists as well. And we go ahead and research that first. To speed things up, I could go with a rush research action right now. And I think I'm going to do this as well, since we do have a bit of trust that we can still spare. Down here we have the trust meter. If this reaches 0, we do have an ultimatum to get trust up again, or otherwise the game is over. So this is something to always watch out for. There it is, our very first district. Industrial district that we finished now, and now we have a steady supply of materials coming in. And in this case here, we can lower the efficiency of that right now to not extract so much wood at all, right, at the same time, and also to keep this one as balanced as possible. Since we have a bit of materials left, let's go with a minimum surplus. I don't need to worry about that for a while now. Cutthroat economy, that is about the basic essentials. People don't like that, but I'm gonna remain this unchanged. Over here, my coal district is finished. This one here is very important, as it will provide a deep coal vein for us at some point. A deep coal mine. That's way ahead of us though, right? We need to research that at some point later. Finished. Next, I think, are we here? Yes, we have now the old way station. Gonna frost break a few more thingies here, and then we can start with some exploration. Look at the the road layout that we've created here automatically. So yeah, they're really far away from us. I can see that this is one of the bigger challenges of this map. Everything is really far away. We got more coal over there. And we do have then our steam over here. So I'm gonna frost break my way also into this direction here a bit, into the center. And from here we can branch out then into the other paths, right? But this is no hurry. This is just a side project now that we have there in the background. Alright, mechanical factory has been researched, so we can immediately start the next one now. That was fast. And I probably would like to go for the housing insulation. This warms my houses by another temperature level. And thus reduces also my sickness. Next, we can go for the logistics district now. I would like to do this right here by the old way station. And while this is under construction, we can start with the next law. The next law is the Community Service Watch. Here we do have some two interesting ones. The first one is the Heat Pipe Watch. Everyone must inspect the heat pipes in their places of residence. This increases the temperature level of all my housing districts by +1. A very useful law for later when temperatures get really cold. For now though, I would like to go into the city development effort. Everyone must support the production of prefabs. And this one provides me a smaller amount of prefabs being automatically produced in the central district all times, despite not having any materials, for example. Overwhelming majority for this law, so let's go ahead and get this one going right away. Very good. And with that, got a smaller prefab production now. As we're already rather low on that, it's a +5 now. A little bit later, we got our first logistics district going. I'm gonna expand this one immediately down here along the road. And with this one, we can now zoom all the way out onto the global map. There it is. And we can now start with the researching. We got the glacier, the plains, they're safe. We got another plain territory over there. We have 20 Frostland teams right now. So we can start with 2 expeditions. Into the plains number 1 and into the plains number 2 on the other side. Can't wait to see what we find out here. Let's zoom back into that. I love the seamless transition. We have a bit of a coal surplus now, but there is the temperature drop now coming. But we should survive this as it's only 1 day. Food is of course still vastly negative, so this is one of my next goals. For this, we continue with the frost breaking. We could also start a food district here now, but that's really not a lot of food. I'm hesitant. This one here provides more food, but it is in an area that increases my diseases because there are toxic gases coming out of the air, out of the ground here. I continue with the frost breaking towards the next old way station over there, and we do have then the option to expand towards our steam spring over there and also to the coal deposit number 2. And as you can see, all of this is just very expensive every time we do it, so frost breaking from now on needs to be more careful. Let's start with a smaller food district here. I mean, I would rather wait and see what we find on the map, honestly. We have enough food for a while. What we definitely need to get going though is an industrial district to get me some goods production. And to preserve heat, I'm going to have this one right here to use the level again, but I'm not gonna get it too close there to my housing district because we do increase the squalor of this area for now, so it's not something that I would like to go. Let's keep a bit of a distance. This also gives me room now to add some buildings then, like a heating hub in here to boost those districts' heating capabilities, for example. Researching, we have finished the next one, the housing insulation. And I would like to go into the generator upgrade now for the oil pumps. It's the only option we have. It's not about the oil pumps, it's what comes after this. Adding then fuel, like in the form of steam to this. I think we actually need to go down here though. So I'm gonna go ahead with the coal mine. Because this brings me then further down into my steam area. Alright, Sue Miller has something to say. The lack of law regulating childhood is causing tension. Let's have a look at laws again. Not that I'm looking at childhood safety right now, I think. I would rather go into the goods law. And here we have 2 options, the mass-produced goods or the durable goods. So in order to make the best use of scarce resources, we'll focus on producing sturdy and easily repairable goods. Or we will organize our production lines to increase goods production. This has a vast majority again. Goods production efficiency is increased just on time for my industrial district. I'm gonna get this law on the way.
The votes are in. The measure passes.
Very good. Goods production increased, and that was already enough to push us now over the edge here, right? In my industry zone. So we do have now the option also to produce either goods or prefabs. Since we have a passive prefab production, I'm inclined to keep the goods production up now, and this leads to a surplus. And this increases now my trust level there, because we do have goods produced. This is kind of like a luxury that you can provide to your population. However, it also increases my material consumption now, because we produce goods out of materials. So we'll need to raise now my efficiency for that district here. We're going to have an expansion, and that allows me then to also add a sawmill. But we do not have a lot of wood in here. So we will need to work towards a second materials deposit somewhere on this map. And as we've already seen in the beginning, we do not have a lot of options. So it's probably also going a bit further down now here, towards this one then at some point later. But we do not have a single endless materials deposit on this map. So we will need to find them outside. Now we could go into the geothermal plant. This is really powerful. Allows me then to harness the natural heat from geothermal springs to generate steam. I don't think we need it right now though. I'd rather go for my next resource upgrade, which is the sawmills. That gives me the option to produce more materials out of my districts. Colder season is upon us. Temperature level dropped now by 1, and as you can see, my heat allocation now shifted significantly to only half. It's only a day though, so what we can do is, first of all, we do have now a freezing population, right? If we look at the heat overlay, we can see that the communities are now chilly, and that is even with the bonus of the temperatures coming in, as others are even worse. We can now change the heat allocation. So we can allocate the heat that we have available to, for example, heat my districts. But each one of those steps will increase my coal consumption now a bit. Let's just see how far we could push this to negative 220 coal. We could also go the other route and say, okay, I do not want to consume that much coal. We rather go ahead and have the generator overdrive. This one will produce more heat. So let's do this. There you go. It will not so much increase my coal consumption, but it gives me an overdrive stress on the generator, which is now going up. And once this reaches 100%, the generator will explode and the game is over. So let's just keep this active for now and see how far we can push it. It's only really 1 day. This leads now to all my districts, of course, by the way, being now properly. We have also found a source of oil now on the plains, or in the plains, as my research is finished. Also, my next research finished. Let's go ahead and get the next one going right away. One thing I usually also like to unlock quite quickly is the hospital. It reduces the disease in the city, and disease will increase over time. So let's get this one on the way right away. Get out on the map again and have a look what we found. Oh, lots of coal and materials here. There is a lead of a source of food somewhere marked on the map now over there. We do find 70 food that we could harvest now. Very good. More cores. And oil. But we cannot use oil at the moment. Also, there is another direction for more oil even after this. Now I have the option of two things that we need to decide on. Do we want to use the geothermal springs in the future? Or do we want to use the oil coming out of the map? Because we need to research that. We cannot go with both routes at the same time. So first of all, I would like to get this outpost here going. So we can use 5 Frostland teams now for this deposit here. They will produce 70 food for us all the time, up to a maximum of 30,000 food, right? Then it's depleted and we get the team back again. So let's start the harvesting here. And we can see this immediately now, right? As my food penalty goes down to negative 34. And this will, yeah, push my food now. With that, we can last a bit longer. I would like to use the other frost lamps that we have to explore the next plains down here. There's more food available. And with that, we have not that many Frostland teams left. So we could think about getting the next one rolling here, as I do have my old way station unlocked now. Another thing I'm thinking about right now is getting the mechanical factory now going that we have unlocked. This gives me now a boost in goods and prefab production with just a little more workforce. So I would like to use this. We can also go for the next law again. And in this case here, let's just check it out. Yeah, the kids want something. And in this case here, we do have now the childhood law, family apprenticeship, or mandatory school. I would like to go for the mandatory school because it boosts my research speed. It reduces, however, my heat stamp production slightly, right? So it doesn't really affect me. I think there is well, not a majority for that, but people are leaning towards that. I would like to make sure though with that this time around. So let's just see who we could appease. The machinists would give me the chemical additive law that they want. The merchants would like to go with allow the productive outsiders, and I'm in line with them. So, no, wait a second. Actually, I want to do this right now. So we cannot accept everyone, right? Because we need to survive on our own as well. So I'm gonna go with selective outsiders. For now, we can always change this later, but for now, I would like to get this guaranteed win for me, and with that we can also push the merchants a bit further with getting some promises done. There you go. This will make kids now very happy. It also gives me a research boost. We could now continue then raising funds from the merchants again in 13 weeks and then finish the promise to get the reputation up again. We're, by the way, endorsed by the machinists right now, so yeah, they're giving me a nice bonus there with their reputation. Alright, temperatures go up again, so we get a bit of more time, but then we get 2 temperature drops. So this will be a bit more severe then. The goods factory has been finished, so we have now a nice boost in prefab production. I could go with a prefab focus right now because we really have enough goods. So I'm also lowering my production in the industrial zone to lower my consumption of materials and stay slightly positive on the goods. We have some room to maneuver around here. Mechanized sawmill. That's usually something that also is a nice promise with the machinists. So I'm probably not going to do this just now. Warmer season it is. Let's turn off the overdrive. We were at 32. Right, so now the generator can, yeah, relax again a bit. There's the hospital. Finished. And we can go for the next one. I would like to go with the generator upgrade now. This will allow me then to use oil in addition in the generator. It can run exclusively on oil, but with increased efficiency. This leads to the problem that we cannot use coal then anymore, but I think there is the research then unlocking that we can use coal for this. Or we go down here to the geothermal plants. I would like to do this, in fact. Once we have finished researching that, we can use steam to heat my homes. Should be just on time for that temperature drop. Next exploration has been finished. We find material deposit. We could get 200 materials out of this one here, up to 200,000 material. This is very powerful. However, we need to build the skyways for this first. And here we got the last hunt. Our scouts came across a convoy of wagons loaded with hunted reindeer. The hunters were pleased with their catch, though they admit it will be their last. There were only young bulls and pregnant cows left. Take the meat or mark it for later. We can take the meat, get the 25,000 food, and we get the marking on the map now over here. There should be a food colony possible in the future, which is very helpful for us. I continue sending 10 more Frostland teams over here to the Sea of Ice, a vast, relatively flat, frozen body of water. They're on the way now, as my other Frostland team comes back home then again. So we have now the option of scavenging a lot of materials and coal. We could also get a lot of food out of another site, right? But the 25,000 food coming in now will be a great help. There it is. And this gives me another 140 weeks of food supply that we can live off. We will need to, yeah, get the outsider rule going here soon now. There's the promise for this as well. And I would like to raise the funds though first from the merchants. There you go. 160 heat stamps coming in again. But of course we lose some reputation with the merchants. Now I can make true on my promise, productive outsider law. Let's do this right away. Yeah, there is... Oh, actually... There's some resistance here, but I think we should be fine. We could, of course, also negotiate with one of the other factions. Again, like the machinists. Yeah, mechanized sawmill, remember? We could build this one and immediately finish that promise. Oh no, they won't negotiate. Sorry. Yeah, let's go ahead and do this. Mechanized sawmill. Let's build this one, right? And get the promise going, because this allows me to also raise heat stamps from the machinists. Basically, the whole town was for it. 80 plus. Probably was no need to really get anything going here. We finished the promise and increase our reputation with the merchants right away. Now we got the promise going for the mechanized sawmill that we have already unlocked. So what we can do now is I can raise the funds from the machinists, 160, lower my reputation, but immediately build the mechanized sawmill now. Finish that promise. And get my trust levels back to favorable. Very good. Free money, that is. The mechanized sawmill, though, will continue producing more materials, which leads to this deposit here being running out of materials soon. So I'm going to lower the efficiency here. I think to that, right? -20 is fine, because we do have a vast material deposit on the map that I can still scavenge as well. Scouting is the most important thing, so I'm gonna build me now my second logistics district here at the old way station. As expensive as it is, great that we can do it now. We're also finishing now the geothermal plant. Perfect. It's gonna be really important for us. And then, since it's only 50 coin, I would like to go ahead with the scouts headquarters. This allows me to reduce the exploration time. This is an upgrade for my logistics district, and it also reduces the territory threat level for all the districts or the territories that we have in the surrounding area. That's also very powerful to have. Temperature drop is coming. Just on time, we can build our first geothermal plant. I would like to do this over here. Let's finish the frost breaking. We're also down to only 8,000 coal. This will last me for another 68 weeks. And there's also my Cornelius Morgan telling me something. Venturers, new voice. Trust the invisible hand. That's a new faction now coming in.
Trust the invisible hand.
They are luxury lovers, investment seekers, industry financiers. Very good. Boosting everything that has something to do with industry districts. They want to finance mercenaries to enforce my rule. And yeah, they're one of the radical factions, I think. At least I think that now. This opens up the new Utopia tree. So that is one of the new features. And 3 points that we get from the faction, the Venturers now. Spend these points to unlock powerful laws and its unique faction, Utopia. And this is the new tree that we have now available to further specialize our city. Now, 9% of the city are Venturers right now, so it's a relatively small faction. And the Goods Emporium would be their very first unlock. This will increase my material demand and consume some workforce, but it produces some goods in addition to neighboring districts. Heat stamp income is also increased. It also adds the ability Add campaign, which increases goods demand and thus maximum heat nodes revenue, because we generate heat stamps out of the goods consumption. Now, in this case here, let's unlock it because it's the first one. There you go. And we can now build this one. It's a special building. It's not being built in any... Our economy runs in a virtuous cycle. The city spends, its infrastructure grows, its citizens prosper, returning some of the prosperity back to the city coffers to spend anew. And we'll maximize our revenue with that. One of the new factions. So this is a special building, not a building that we place on top of a district. Where do we have it? There it is, right? And we can place it in something like that. And this now would reduce the workforce requirement of the surrounding area and increases the production efficiency of goods. So it makes sense to have this close to an industry zone, but I think also close to a housing district. Yeah, because the heat stamp income from neighboring housing districts is increased as well. So this is a nice spot here for this new building then. Alright, also we get 1,200 more people now joining us. That would mean that I'm going to expand my city district, right? Here, this one. And I think over here, this one we can also expand. Gonna keep a bit of space there for a hub as well that we need to provide. Could be enough, those two. Yeah, almost. And by the way, here we can now start with our extraction zone. So that's my geothermal plant that we can place right on top of that. Produces heat. It, however, increases disease rating. The problem here is that this district is in a toxic fume area. Is that my mistake? It would be the same up here. So I think they're all in a toxic fume environment. Also here, yes. Toxic thermal vents. I think there's a research that will make this easier for us. But for now, let's go ahead and do this. And this will now for the first time also increase my disease rating. So we gotta be sure that we use one of my hospitals then that we've built. Alright, next research has been finished. And with that, we got 30 Frostland teams now as my logistics district has also been finished. My second one. We get cores here. Whoa, that's nice. 10 cores in addition. Another food source. And coal. 50,000 coal. Let's take this one right away. And I think I'm considering also getting this food source in. Yes. It might be feasible to do this now. There you go. We still have 20 Frostland teams left that I can use to now go into one of the others. This one's dangerous though. This one's safe. Let's go ahead with this. Then I'm hoping we find a second one. There it is. I like how my map is turning out right now. Very favorable for us. We got a nice food surplus. Enough so that I can tone it down. Where's my food district? In my food district. Ah, you know what? I don't even have a food district yet. Totally forgot about that. We have so much food coming in from the map that I'm still not producing it. Now, though, the cold season is upon us. Drop to -30 now. Let's build the geothermal plant. So we need to have the extraction district, right? And then the geothermal plant on top of it to start producing some steam here. And this is 209 steam now. Now, unfortunately, we're lagging behind with the researching there a bit. I might consider... Yeah, let's push the research again. Rush researchers. Because we need to upgrade my generator first. So what we can do in the meantime is I can increase my heat allocation, at least to the housing district, right? We have enough coal that makes it possible for me. And I'm going to keep it chilly in the other one. So this is chilly, this is chilly, this one's chilly now. Very good, right? So with that, we have a bit of a slight coal negativity there, but we're still going to last a long time with. Until I finish my researches, that is. The Menders. This is a faction I know though. Coming in now. And Rough Sleepers, Crafters and Anti-Currency. So they're the other side. They don't want anything to do with any money. And go into this directly with the herding camp. Domestic reindeer and fabric structures for the Nord members who tend them. Food output is increased in housing districts. Yeah, this is their building now that we can unlock with them. I don't know, do we have to? We got 5% of the city right now using them. Let's unlock it because we can. And now it's getting quite busy here. Okay, there we have them and they're immediately, well, negative towards us. So these are gonna be the troublemakers, I think, down the road. Next law, I would probably like to go with surplus heat should benefit the entire population. Or heat is a luxury and as such surplus heat will be auctioned off to the highest bidder. Warm housing districts generate extra heat stamp. Now, let's rather go for the funerals. Harvesting funerals. The deceased will be harvested and their healthy body parts used to support the city healthcare. That is boosting my research speed again, and disease is also slightly decreased with that. Also, there seems to be a majority for it, as more people are leaning towards it. I could still negotiate though. With the Menders, they will not do this because it's against their worldview. So, you know what? I'm actually just gonna risk it and see how it goes. But it seems like the majority is for it anyway. Oh, that could be bad. Oh no, very good. Got the heart pumping there a bit, but we got the harvesting funerals now in effect. boosting my research speed there as well. We have to enjoy the peacefulness right now, because most factions endorse us. I like it. I have a feeling it's not gonna stay this way. And the Menders already have something for us. Stuart, Menders representatives have come to your office. It was madness to vote in harvesting funerals. If you continue with such nonsense, we will have to act. We implore you, repeal that law. Or appease them with all due maintenance. I have no idea. This is a research, all due maintenance. We are on our way. No, I'm not gonna do this. This will worsen the relationship with them. We could probably condemn them. They will lose members and potentially lose seats in the councils. However, the relationship with them continues to worsen. Let's try this out. Yeah, this actually made things worse. Of course, I didn't expect a full scale. We could also promote them again. Yeah, there you go. I can't have it that they actually go ahead with this, right? So they still have the same size relatively. Where's my ventures? The ventures are more powerful at the moment. This is how it should be. Right, generator oil pumps has been finished. Next research, I would like to, well, we have the generator upgrade 1. Melting deep deposits is nice because this gives me deep mining then. And then generator coal upgrade 2. But for now, I would like to insulate my work districts. With that, it makes it easier to heat stuff, right? And especially use more of my coal that we have right now. I would, by the way, also like to go ahead and get me a fuel stockpile, because the thing is right now that we have 50,000 coal waiting for us on the map that we cannot even store, right? So I would need a fuel stockpile to get this up. This is raising my fuel now by 50,000, doubling it essentially. And with that, we can now get a massive chunk of coal from the map. Yeah, still feel a bit bad about the Menders. That was a bad mistake on our side. But I think we'll pull through. That is not costing us anything right now. So we built the extraction district with the steam. And we can use it in case of an emergency, right? Get the steam output. But right now, we still cannot use the steam, unfortunately. Alright, program war. So people are increasingly arguing over the curriculum taught in schools. Some think we should reduce theoretical knowledge and go for more survival training. Others argue the exact opposite. We need to teach children how to think and come up with new solutions. Focus on survival. This will be good with the Menders. Or concentrate on science. This will increase it with machinists and venturers. And mandatory school increases the research speed even more. I would like to do this, yes. Yeah, we really got the tensions rising here. So the Menders, I don't know what bad things they're gonna do. Alright, we have finished the next exploration, by the way. So in this case here, we could now really get the coal and materials in. But I think it's not necessary yet. We found a charred workshop. Another source of fuel. Here is lots of coal. This is actually something I'm considering now. Down here, we have a core. And even more coal. Let's get the massive chunk of coal in. For this, we need to build the sky trails. And let's just see how many we're gonna need. The entry point is here. And I think I'm gonna go over there. Wait a second. Can we connect this one? No. Here and then here. Alright, this takes 4 weeks. Cost me 100 heat stamps, 20 prefabs. And once this is finished, we get 400 coal out of that. Which is great for us, of course. I still have 15 research teams left, so I'm considering just taking a core with 5 of them. And I'm considering taking these cores here with another 5. And I'm considering taking now this stockpile here with, once again, 5. There's 3 chunks of resources now coming in. Alright, separated families. Yeah, no. I'm still gonna keep my productive outsiders. Alright, got the next research finished. This is now increasing my heat allocation for districts. So first of all, we have way too much heat rolling right now here. And we can now go ahead in the districts here and get the insulation going. I think I would like to start with my coal mining because we're going to need this for a long time, right? Let's go ahead and insulate this. And I will definitely like to insulate it for my industry district. It's going to cost me a bit. And do we need to insulate my yeah, exploration districts. I'm also gonna do this here. And on the other side here. Gives me another +1 heating for these. And thus we require less coal. Next, I would like to research the housing block. We do have 2 options here, 3 options in fact. We got the normal housing block, we got the subsidized housing block, or we got the dense housing block. The dense one has the highest increase in shelter capacity, but it increases my disease rating. The subsidized one costs me upkeep, and the normal one has the lowest amount of shelters, but it has nothing else. I think I'm gonna go with the subsidized one. That's twice as much shelter capacity for -1 heat stamp, which is absolutely fine. And we increase the relationship with the menders for a change, which I like as well. My heat stamp production right now is 18, so if it goes down to 17 or even 16, because I add 40 more capacity, I'm fine with that. So the next wave of survivors we can easily already house. The coal has come in, by the way. We got another 30 weeks now left again. And by the way, my coal is going up right now thanks to finished the insulation. Next, I would like to have a scout headquarter now. This is reducing exploration time and it reduces the territory threat level by 1. So if I build a second one on the other side, we reduce it by 2 already, which is very powerful to have. Just on time really, as my next Frostpunk teams are coming in again. And by the way, there's survivors coming. A group of tattered survivors. I could already save towards my subsidized housing block. We need a bit more money for that. So we can raise funds again from some of my factions. It's probably gonna be, 6 weeks we need to wait, alright. The laborers, they haven't paid anything yet, so let's go raise the funds from them. Didn't even affect us that much with them. Alright, there is the first event of the plague now coming in. Sickness at our doors. A small group of Frostlanders approach the city, their journey ending abruptly at the very doorsteps due to a mysterious sickness. There were only 3, barely walked straight. The guard relayed, his voice tense. The skin was peeling off their faces. Drawing her final breath, one of them spoke of an illness that claimed their people. Okay. A deadly unknown disease has arrived at our city. We could warn the citizens. Tension is extremely increased with that. Or tell no one. Yeah, right now I'm not gonna tell anyone. There's no need to cause any panic. So tension is very small right now. We could have afforded it, but I still think it would be the right choice of not crying around that there's a huge sickness coming. Wouldn't be so nice for productivity, I guess. Also, the first storm, the first whiteout, the first blizzard is on the horizon as well. And I think this is a nice point in our story to stop this. And yeah, let's just see how it unrolls. I hope you enjoyed this video here, and we continue onwards with Sleepy Hollow, a mysterious sickness, a whiteout, more city expansion in the next episode. Thanks for watching, stay tuned. Hello and welcome back to Frostpunk 2, the Fractured Utopia DLC playthrough on this endless map in Sleepy Hollow. It is 1918, and in the last episode we laid the foundation of this glorious city, and in this episode it's really all about advanced survival. That is, we get temperature drops, we get our first whiteout, and we got a rising sickness that we'll have to deal with at some point. What I would like to start this right away is with the new special buildings that are coming. That's the Goods Emporium. Workforce demand in neighboring industry districts is greatly decreased, goods output is increased, and heat stamp production is increased. And I would like to have this right here between my industry district, so we push the goods production, but at the same time it's neighboring to a housing district and we can increase its heat stamp production. I would like to have it like so, because this gives me room to add another heating hub here, for example. Something like that along the way. The other important building that we got is the herding camp, and this one comes with the Mender faction. And this one is increasing my food output in neighboring housing districts. Oh, by the way, 1,400 people just joined us. We'll also need to deal with that. Let's just see where we can have it. We can have them anywhere, right? But if we have them close to housing district, we do get a food bonus. The thing is, this is not producing food yet. I think it's just increasing my reindeer size, my herd size. So building this one here gives me food bonus from 2 neighboring districts, I would like to do this, but I would like to keep a bit of space there once again for a heating hub. So I'm gonna have this one, yeah, probably like this. We'll just see. We can always get rid of it again if I overbuild something, but in that case I like the idea. And with that, those two buildings are now in construction. Gonna take a while. In the meantime, what I would like to do is continue with my next research. Heat will be a major problem with the whiteout, so we do have the coal production increase, right? We can build a coal mine too. Now I would like to go into advanced housing insulation. So we will permanently increase the temperature level of all housing districts by 2. There is, I think, nothing else. Asbestos lining, it's called. 100 heat stamps it costs, and we can finish this. By the way, trust is high. I would like to get another rush researcher going, because this speeds up researching significantly that I would like to use. Also, we got the quest here, by the way. Follow the trail now. Locate patient 0 somewhere in the Frostlands. The good thing that we have built so many scout teams now. Wonder where one is. Expand the logistics? Huge herd? Tar pits and coal mining complex. We're using 25 permanently right now. Alright, regarding the housing, we do need to provide that. And I do have the subsidized housing block. 20 shelters, just enough to get those refugees in. I would like to do this as well right here. This is something that the Menders like because we subsidize the housing, and they like this because it promotes equality. Colder season, we're going now to negative 40 degrees. And there's the old enemy coming again. The whiteout is on the horizon. In 80 weeks, it'll arrive, and it will be devastating. Alright. Subsidized housing shelters coming in. Food is fine, materials are fine. Goods production needs to be increased now. So I'm gonna switch my production here from prefabs to goods. And this already does quite a bit. And then we increase the efficiency of 1 to 100%, right? That was already enough. So now we have a nice surplus of goods coming in again. Heating wise, let's check it out. I will need to allocate my heat to those districts now to keep it warm for everybody. Don't forget, we want to keep it at least chilly so that people working there do not get sick, right? But for the housing itself, I want to keep it really cozy. That's important. There's the housing block. With that, everybody has a home now. And there's also our very first goods emporium. Gives me the ad campaign that we can use and gives me the bonuses right away. It's a beautiful building, by the way. I like it. We finally get some big buildings we can build manually into the game, and this is one of them. Fantastic looking. Alright, by the way, here's my food increased thanks to the reindeer milk coming out of this. So that's a +9. Right, and here we can see the reindeer herd that we have right now going up to 90 tops. So the more we have, I guess, the more milk we produce. We could also make meat out of them. Alright, let's raise some funds again from the merchants and also from the machinists. A lot of money coming in again. Very good. I would like to stay afloat. Of course, people really don't like that so much, but right now they're fine with it. And with that, we can build now a shaft coal mine. Costs me 80 heat stamps, also some prefabs and some workforce. Increases the coal production quite a bit. And I would like to do this. Alright, I think it's also time to increase the efficiency of the extraction district over here for the materials. And look at that. With just one more step, we can make it positive. To have a surplus coming in again. With those surpluses, I'm considering adding now another material, or my first material stockpile, in fact. Having this close to an extraction zone boosts its reduces its workforce requirement. So I'm gonna go ahead, actually, and I'm going to make it here. So that we can really push its efficiency. Because workforce will play a vital role at some point. Yeah, that's 35% reduction in workforce requirement out of this district. Asbestos linen has been established now. And this now gives me the next insulation. And now if I implement the insulation here, we do get 2 levels of temperature out of that. So let's do this for all the housing districts right away. Out here, we continue with the scouting. We do have the Sea of Ice as the next territory that we can unlock. And there's something over here, but we need 20 teams for that. What we can still do is I can expand this district here to get me another 5 teams out. Research-wise, I'm really tempted at this point to go into melting deep deposits. We're gonna need it for the coal. I also really like the efficiency bonus. This is really quick. Cost me 50 heat stamps, and it's just flat out increasing the efficiency for every resource output that we have. So this is just a nice overall bonus that I'm just gonna get. There's no penalty to this or anything else. We just grab it. The installation is coming along now for all districts. And some service workers aiding our prefab production are asking for better tools. So we could give that to them with prefabs. Yeah. At this point, we also see a bit of a tension coming out now. So squalor and faction fervor. We will need to reduce the squalor soon. We can go for another law. Chemical additives would be the one with the highest approval rating. The city will approve chemical additives with tested and tolerable risk levels to increase my food production. The thing is, we do not have a food production at the moment. So I would rather go with heat auctions because we do have warm districts right now, especially with the insulation, to generate additional income out of that. And I think 36, I mean, I would really like to give the menders something, otherwise they're gonna be endlessly unhappy with us, but they're not even open for negotiation here. So I give it to the laborers here. I will have to research and hold the vote on all do maintenance. Everyone must share the burden. This is actually something that comes in handy for us because it also reduces my material consumption significantly. Let's vote. There you go. Pushing my income now a bit to 23.5. So we do get 2. Allow productive outsiders, central district, goods, trade. 12. Very good. By the way, we have now 2 warm districts with the insulation. So I can now lower that heat demand. Oh yeah, this actually reduced my income now though. So if I increase it again, we do get more income out of them. Efficiency bonus. There it is, my next research. Generally increasing the output of everything we have. And there's now the maintenance duty. And that is all do maintenance. Let's go ahead and do this right away. Get the promise out of the way. I'm going with... Should I do this now? Another scout headquarter to further reduce territory threat levels. Where is, by the way, my... old way station? Do we not have any other old way station? We don't. We only have 2 on the map. Alright, so we need to actually build something to expand my teams. Labor demand has been met. And with that, we're also getting a nice boost here from them. With that research here finished. So next is really, I think, the Vanguard Logistics Bay. Because this one here gives me 20 additional Frostlamp teams that we can use. Warmer season, that comes in very handy for me right now. So actually we have enough, too much coal. So I'm gonna get me another fuel stockpile going. You know what? We're gonna need this endless coal deposit here as well at some point. So let's just get the Frostpunk going now. And then I'm gonna have another fuel. No, you know what? I'm gonna need a bunch of them anyway. Let's build one here by the steam. And then I can build another one here in the coal district. Next map has been established. So here we do have now the potential food colony site that we can establish here to get lots of food out. But then we have to manage this one too. It's a bit too expensive for me right now. We're gonna wait. I would rather go for the valley over there. And by the time this finishes, we should be ready to get the next Frostlamp expansion going. Now, about the law. There it is that we promised. It has a good approval rating. And it will just flat out increase the efficiency again. We're gonna do this as well. If this fails, by the way, we break the promise. It better not fail. Yeah, there you go.
Hear ye, hear ye.
It was actually rather close.
The measure passes.
But we have finished it. Vanguard Logistics Bay. This is pretty massive. And of course we want to use this right away. And we can do it right away in my logistics zone. By the way, we do have 2 slots here because we expanded that district. And for each expansion you do get another building slot. I think the maximum right now though is 1 of expansions that we have. Once this is finished, which should be happening now, we have 25 Frostland teams ready for action. The Menders begin to protest. I wonder why. They're not so bad off. Okay. We could now... No, I'm not gonna do that. Convince them to stop. Further their vision. And we have to research the conservative treatment. It doesn't say here though if we need to go with both of them. Now this is really one of the things that I don't like about this game, because they will now disable one of my districts if I don't cave in. And the problem is, even if they're just 7% of the population, they can really destroy your whole city single-handedly. I'm trying to convince them to stop because these 2 options here are a no-go for me. Research Beautiful Youth. Okay, wait, it doesn't say that we need to actually enact it. We just need to research it. Let's go ahead and do this. And research conservative treatment. So there's the treatment. There we have now the consented agreement and the conservative. Let's go with the conservative. 4 weeks. Easy peasy done. Let's push my researchers. Again. And the Venturers rally to build support.
I started out as nothing, and look at me now.
These are the other radical faction, and they love us right now. So, percentage of active workforce is increased. Finance the mercenaries. This gives me guard squads to enforce city law. I think I'm gonna go with that. Yeah, finance mercenaries. What can we do with that now? Can we actually quell the protests? No, we need 12 guard squads for that. Alright. And I would also like to use my scouts now. So we have the Scoutland team. And yeah, those are 2 very good territories now. And as you can see, threat level is down now to safe. So I can go ahead and do this right away. This one provides potentially more. I'm gonna go with this territory. This is still dangerous up here. Dangerous. We're gonna need another scouts headquarter for this. Or we research another threat level. They have disabled my goods production right now, by the way. Those protests. Okay, protests begin to collapse. 1 research was enough, right? We don't need to enact it too, right? No. And protesters are going home. Thank you very much for this. Oh no, wait a second. We also need to research the Beautiful Youth. Okay. We can still go the other route too, right? The Shielded Youth. That is something I would like to go for more, but let's go ahead. It's 50 heat stamps we lose. By the way, with all the insulation, we're having an amazing coal surplus right now. That I do love. There's also the promise. Oh no, we don't need to do this again. The game didn't tell me that. It only said we need to research it, not enact it. And now we have this one all over again. I'm not gonna take any say here. If it fails, it fails. I don't care. We get the protest again, I guess. Oh, it passed.
Law has been approved.
Alright, by the way, my laborers. I will need to grant them the agenda to get that up. And now we have the option of deradicalizing the Menders. I can do this once. If I do this, we lose this radicalization here. But I'm gonna save this one for the next protests, because this will immediately collapse the protests. And the laborers admire my leadership. And devoted relations with laborers encourage them to cooperate and de-radicalize Menders. And laborers will try to convince some of the brethren to leave them. Yes. And 41 left. And this is reducing the faction's strength of the Menders. So we need to kind of like appease the laborers there as well. There's a really interesting new Utopia point. That is the issue loan. And return excess heat stamps stockpile into circulation. And they will repay this with interest. This gives me a 4 heat stamp increase per week increase if I pay 100. I would like to do this. That is a special action. And now we have this action in here. And let's do this. Right, and with that, We paid it 100 and now we get 4 back per week. Next research, deep melting. It's the second last before we go into the steam utilization. And we need to do this anyway because we are about to run out of coal soon. I can, by the way, turn off this coal district here for now because the coal we're getting out of the map is more than enough. And with the last heat stamps we have, I would also like to finally upgrade my generator now to level 2. And this one will also be able then to use oil instead of coal, so I can switch around, but it will also increase the heat output of the generator. It's a very significant upgrade to my central heating utilities. Now we got, yeah, refugees coming in. Do I have another building slot? And I would like to use another housing block on this because that will be enough. However, I do not have the money for it. I'm not gonna raise it from the laborers because we need the laborers on our side to fight the menders. So I'm not gonna do this. Right now we just have to wait, really. No real harm will come out of it. Research has been finished. We now have the ability to use deep deposits, finally. And this gives me now the access to generator upgrade 2 once we finish the generator upgrade. However, I would still also like to continue doing some researching. So let's go with a cheaper one. And I would like to go with the watchtower because this gives me a guard squad. It also reduces crime. It has no penalty. It just costs me 200 workforce in addition. And this gives me an opportunity or another action we can use to get rid of protests in the future. So that's just something I need to do really right now while we have the time. We have the next promise here. All do maintenance. This is fine for me. But there is quite the division here. So we're just going to see how it turns out. And it passed.
Delegates have spoken. The law takes effect.
Stewart.
Medical dissent. An angry young doctor came to complain. And yes, they would like to change this. And maintain a strict oversight.
Law is in effect.
Okay, I'm gonna increase my goods again. And we have a significant material stockpile right now, so I'm gonna reduce my production for materials down to a very low level here. Prime the prosperity pump, by the way. So here we would have the opportunity of finishing this one by building another special building. And I think then we could have it finished, the goods emporium. So I could build another one over there, raising my heat stamp income out of my district. So let's build a second one over there, but I'm probably going to build it here to leave room for another hub that I would like to get. Okay, the rally's also ended now. And, by the way, we're completely busted here with my fuel. The upgrade has been finished, so now we use oil pumps as well. We can use oil now to heat. Now we're using at the generator the oil. Once we run out of oil, we're going to use the coal. So we have quite a bit of a buffer here now to generate heat. In addition, the next upgrade will allow us then to switch freely around that and use steam in addition. For the whiteout, I would still like to first finish that research here right now, the watchtowers. Very good. And now I would like to go ahead and use the heat dispatcher. This is constructed in the districts and pushes the temperature level again by +1. Very powerful, especially since it comes basically with no cost. We have finished the watchtower. I would like to get this going now. There it is. Gives me that squad opportunity. And let's have this one over there in the other side of my city. And there's also my next emporium now coming over here to push my output. And don't forget, we're gonna have another housing district there soon. And subsidized housing block, we do like a bit of money. Let's wait for that. And we have a lot of frost teams, so yeah. Next exploration. Dwellers, nope. Horse. Which 50,000 coal again. Okay. Oil. And a new colony, a fuel colony that we can establish over here. But since we have enough teams now, I'm probably going to go in here with the 20 team. We still have 15 left, so I could still use them to get me a permanent source of oil in. I think this might be useful, especially considering that we get a whiteout. But I don't know right now if that works during the whiteout. I think it doesn't. So I rather wait. And there's a Sea of Ice, another exploration, and I have 5 more. So let's just get me some cores. There it is. Another core. We're gonna need them for upgrades. Getting around 30 heat stamp per week right now, thanks to having heated homes. It's time to build the next pelted outpost. So I'm gonna do this here right away. Subsidized housing block. With that, we have then no homeless anymore. Goods is fine. Food is still fine for a long time. Heat dispatcher was built. And filtration tower is my next one. Moss filtration or filtration tower. Let's go with the moss filtration. This one requires a bit more upkeep in workforce, but it's still fine. It doesn't have a penalty like temperature level, and it reduces the squalor. And we're gonna need that because squalor is increasing because of my industry zone, and especially then up here in my extraction zone. Another fuel stockpile. I'm going to get this one. We cannot stack it, right? I could have it here, because here we're gonna have another extraction zone soon. So I'm gonna have this one here. Alright, it's also time, I think, to enforce our first rule law. These are very special laws and require a 2/3 majority to pass, so I would like to try this out. Guard enforce is usually something I love, because we get another guard squad that we can use to quell protests immediately. And yeah, there is some hesitation here. Let's just see who could help me the most. I think the machinist once again. The chemical additives, we actually have... Do we not have this one already? Let's go with the merchants, actually, because they have something I want to do anyway, and that is unproductive to maintenance. Workers that do not meet their quotas must stay after their shifts to perform machinery and infrastructure maintenance. Also counts for the unemployed. And this one gives me efficiency increase and material demand reduction. And accepting this one should lead then to a positive outcome here. But we need a lot, of course. I'm counting on the machinists to join as well. Ah, that was very close. So I will have to try this again soon. Probably then with the machinists. Okay, just in time for the whiteouts. I would like to go get my heating hub going. Probably not gonna need it for the material or the coal, but I would like to have it in the housing. So let's have a heating hub right here in the center. Housing now heating now 2 districts here with another heat level. Especially since the industry zone needs to get going at all times, because this is by design always very low on goods. Now, the Emporium. Good. A goods Emporium manager has stirred controversy by restricting access to part of her floor to a handful of high-spending patrons. Okay, we could introduce now a premium membership for people that pay extra, or we maintain a general admission. I'm gonna do this. This was quite a nice trust bonus, by the way. The next scouting is finished. And look at that, my food is really gonna be a problem after the whiteout. So that's something we will need to focus. I was expecting kind of like to find more food sources. There it is. 5 Frostland teams get me 25,000 food in. Let's do this right away. And there would be 800 machinists. That's actually something I'm also considering, because machinists are in favor of what I'm doing. So 800 additional ones of them makes this faction stronger. And they are a middle ground faction, right? So this is really something I would like to get. However, of course, we will probably need to get another housing block going. How many more slots do we have? 1 and 2. 2 more. Probably gonna get this one over here. There's the heating district. Perfect. I don't think it's necessary per se, but we'll just see. And we have significantly increased our city's spending power. We have launched ourselves upward on the ladder of success. Relations with the ventures improve. We have finished that main mission here for the venturers. Right, pushing my income. Alright. We got 50 Frostland teams right now. But the whiteout is coming, so I think the whiteout will wipe them. There's the coal. Alright. There's the whiteout. coming in right now, so we cannot scout anything there anymore. So I think I'll need to wait for that whiteout to pass before I can continue. By the way, it's looking epic. That's the storm coming in right now. And this is just one of the things I love. It's really coming in real time. Right? As we move towards the city, the weather is getting now worse. Heat is fine for the moment. We could research. And yeah, I'm probably gonna go with the generator upgrade number 2 now. Just because we can. And we could still also get a moss filtration tower now going. This significantly reduces the squalor in my area. I'm gonna wait until the whiteout is over though, because this is about to hit us now. By the way, it's way too warm here. Not gonna last though. There it is.
Seek shelter and prepare for the worst. A whiteout nears.
And with that, things are getting a bit crazy for a while, but it's the first whiteout, so it shouldn't be so bad. It's gonna last 20 weeks. As we can see, the heat allocation is now bad, so I'm gonna allocate heat levels to my housing. This will significantly increase my consumption of oil now, but it makes people still stay warm in the center of the city. And the material here, I'm gonna stop entirely. We have enough materials stockpiled, so I don't need that. We can do the same thing for the coal district. And we can do the same thing for the exploration district. I don't need the scout teams right now. So I'm gonna save my heat there and my fuel by focusing everything on the center, right? Where everybody is at this point. All my exploration thingies are disabled right now, so there's nothing I can do about that. As that storm continues. Negative 60 degrees. That's still okay. Just on time, we could also go with the surplus injectors now. This costs me 4 steam cores, but it maximizes the heat allocation in my generator. Doing this is a massive improvement, so I'm really considering if we need it for now. It's 4 cores after all. I'm gonna start with the hothouse production now. Drum hothouse or bio-waste hothouse it is. Or chemical hothouse. Actually, the bio-waste hothouse has the best effect. This one here does cost me some temperature. This one here costs me disease. I'm gonna go with the drum hothouse. The machinists are doing this. Because after the whiteout, we will really need to focus on food production, as we're getting dangerously low on this. And with the merchants, I was not able to fulfill that promise. It's fine though, we had a high enough relationship with them. For the moment, I cannot really appease all of them all the time. Food additives would be something. Since we're starting with the food production soon, we could consider this law here. It will be a guaranteed success. Probably gonna wait until we have that food district going. And by the way, wait, I cannot see anything. Not this one. It's here, where we're gonna have a permanent food production. So I'm gonna frost break my way through that already. In the middle of the storm. What could possibly go wrong? It's looking epic. I really love the atmosphere of this game. And let's get the food district going. So one of them is in the shallow fertile soil where there is toxic gases. But that should be fine. I still haven't built the hospital as well, by the way, so that's something we can still do as well.
Citizens, our researchers have completed their latest
there it is. Also, just as the storm is about to end, we do have our first food district that I'm gonna expand now right away to build me my hothouse. Probably should have started a bit earlier with that, because we are gonna need the food now. So at this point we ran out of food just within seconds. There it is, and now we have a positive outcome, and I could go with the excessive fertilization at this point to boost my food production a bit. And with that we have a surplus of food. The only thing I will need, first of all, lower my heat allocation again for all of them, because they're burning right now. And second of all, I would like to build me now my hospital that we haven't done yet. And that is something that's really important for a city like that. There's one more slot. Let's do this. To get some of that down as well. Also, the first contaminated are in. The population may become infected with the unknown virus, turning individuals into a new type of absentee called decontaminated. Once contaminated, they're unable to work, do not recover over time, and will eventually die without access to the vaccine. Okay, they will also spread the virus. So this is something that is coming in now. Gotta say, that was really close with the food. I'm glad that we started with that in the middle of the storm. After the storm is before the storm, so we can turn on the exploration districts again. Over here. Get my Frostland teams out. And there's also the next wave of survivors. We're gonna need a new housing district now. And we will start with finding Agent Zero, or Patient Zero, and hopefully getting us the first vaccines out. Look at that. Estimated virus outbreak in less than a week. This is gonna be interesting as the plague kicks in now. I hope you enjoy this one. Sleepy Hollow must prevail. It's 1920 and we have survived our first whiteout. But now the virus comes in and 2 more temperature drops. Stay tuned. Back to Frostpunk as we're coming out of our first whiteout. The plague now completely hits us, so the virus outbreak is upon us right here in the center. A new fear, and it really hits our central district right away. A grim reality has fallen upon us. A mysterious sickness has gripped our city. Now the terrified citizen of the central district pled for evacuation to other sectors. At first we thought our daughter just had a cold, but then the itching started. The citizens are agitated. What should we do? We could evacuate it. The central district will lose most of its output though, and far fewer residences in the central district will be at risk of contamination. Or we do nothing. Okay, let's go with the central district evacuation. And more people are getting sick. If our researchers don't find a vaccine soon, our city is doomed. Okay, so that's now the unknown virus as it's called. We could also give it a name. Let's call it the cold plague for now. I think we could rename it then later as well. I need to pause the game though real quick because there's a lot of things now happening here in the central district. It is not housing any more people. The heating though still continues to work. But with that, we will need to now immediately start a new district somewhere around it. We do have some of these new Utopia buildings here that I would like to use. On top of that, there is the potential here of having a filtration tower as well. So I'm gonna have this one around it to maximize the yield that we get from the food, heat stamp, and also temperature bonus. And on top of that, I'm keeping a bit of a distance here to also have the ability to get me a filtration tower going. Next in line, do we have something already that pushes me towards that? There it is, plague vaccine. And cold plague vaccines will be produced rapidly using living tissue harvested from volunteers. This costs me 400 heat stamp, in fact, and takes quite some time to research. So the industrial districts can then produce it. In that case, this is a long time. So we want to make sure that we really have all the other foundations finished. And I think for the moment, it's looking rather well on this case, right? We also got the deep stuff going. So I would like to start with the vaccine now. We do have also the animal serum available. And this one here makes it possible that we produce it at moderate rate with animal serum. So one goes with faster, but less and more, that's the ventures, but with more injuries. That is okay to me because we do have hospitals to take care of injured people. So I would like to go ahead with this. Also, I would like to stay clear, or well, on good terms with the Ventures. Now, that's one thing. We were coming out of the whiteout, by the way. Oh, colder season already. With my districts deactivated. So I'm gonna activate my districts here again to produce materials in that case here. And we also want to start then producing some coal again. Right, there you go. On top of that, over here, we do have the... yeah, my steam pump. Now, in this case, we went with a wrong route, right? We don't have any faction in the city. So this was randomized. We don't have any faction in the city that would allow me to have adaptive pumps, right? So we are locked into using coal and oil. And it's not the end of the world. I just built a district wrong. We would have a steam on this map, but all the steam districts would give me, or all the steam extraction would give me also the bad fumes, right? So it would increase my sickness rating anyway. So I'm not gonna do... there's the next option already again, the next choice we need to do. Large families get priority or rationality. So let's go with prioritize the families, keeping them together for now. This increases my mender reputation. Also, we can do this option because we got the subsidized housing. Now, we're gonna get rid of this steam option, right? It's bad anyway because it would increase my sickness because they are built in disease-ridden areas with the fumes. So we can disable this and get a lot of heat stamps back out of this. I'm gonna do this right away. Instead, we can use the coal that we have because we got two. In fact, we got 2 infinite coal deposits on this map too. So that is helping me out there quite a bit. We have this one here already. So for now, we don't need it, right? We have enough oil coming in from the map. And we got the coal here at the maximum. But it's something I would like to work towards. Also, let's increase my heat allocation so that everybody is heated for the moment. Next, on the map again, we got lots of Frostpunk, Frostland teams that we can go for. Look at that. There's the whiteout still, leaving the place again. So we can research or scout this area. I think here there was something pretty great. So let's go ahead and do this, and there would be prefabs here. I think I would like to focus also on these areas here, but they're still dangerous. Then let's go for... actually not that easy. Yeah, let's go for this one. There would be a potential food side. So that's all my teams now going out again. Alright, the district has been built. We're going to go with a subsidized housing block again. And I'm going to expand that district once more. Here, here, and here. That we get all the people housed now. We're still out of food, by the way. So that's the other thing that I have running right now that we need to tackle. We do have this one here, the deep fertile soil. But the problem here is that we're already using a drum house. I cannot use another drum house on this one because we need that slot for the deep melting drill at some point. I'm not going to do this now because there's enough food left. But we need to find a second source of food, and we do have this up here. So I'm going to go and dig my way now up to this point here, right? Slowly and steadily into the second endless food deposit that we have. Should be fine. We're getting some food now out of the bonus, out of the expansion, right? Yeah, barely. Organized filtration process, emergency shift. The efficiency of this will go up for a while. I think with -6 food though, we should survive for a while. Next temperature drop imminent. How's my heat dissipation looking like? It's looking fine for the moment. There's really a lot of stuff, right, that you need to look through. The 100 food from the herding camp is still something that we are in the process of trying to make work. That's the faction building. So let's have a second one going now. And I'm gonna have this one on the other side of the city where we do have the housing district, right? So here. This should finish that mission here. Output at least 100. Okay, what's going on here? We are really at the end of my goods production, it seems. It's a surprise to me that we've reached it so early. So let's build me another expansion here for the industry zone. And on top of that, we will need to increase the capacity now of my extraction district so that we get all the machine parts out again. Material. Yeah, and as we can see, the central district here really is plague-ridden right now. It also states that the hotter an area is, the faster the plague spreads. So I'm gonna reduce now the heating of all my areas here. Can we do it by 2 times? Still too hot. 3 times. What? Okay. I mean, yeah, I need to increase the heating there at least. Here. I'm doing manually to keep it chilly at least. Everything below chilly would be bad though. But the problem really is that my housing districts are too warm with all the insulation. And nothing I can do about it for now. What I'm gonna do though is I'm gonna increase my research output again by rushing the researching. Because I really want to fix this. We could probably also go with a second research institute. The question is, do I want to waste a spot? Do I want to waste a slot here, right? Because we would need to build another one again. I'm gonna do it. We can get rid of it again. There's my next herding that we finished now. Over here. We can now butcher reindeers to get some food. Can we do it on that as well? Yes. Alright, with that we have a bit of a food surplus now. For a while. What is going on with my goods supply though? It's collapsing. 29 were also now diagnosed with the cold plague. So this is spreading right now. And we just butchered them. Teach the children to butcher beasts. I'm gonna do this in fact. And they need to know this. There's another message here that we don't need right now. And I would really like to know why my goods are collapsing like this. I can build another mechanical factory here. This gives me another 60 goods production. Right? Better than nothing, I guess. Oh, and we're also running out of parts here now of machines. So this is another thing that we'll need to tackle. That is something actually where we need to look on the map. Because we do not have any deep material deposits here on this map. This will be one of the toughest challenges, I think. For now, I could go ahead and expand into this district. We'll just see how we do this. We adapt. Okay, some more exploration. Frostland dwellers certainly not. Coal, and here we got prefabs or materials. I'm gonna go to take the materials. Nice. This is a good streak of luck that we have there. Okay, there's the next thing that we need to do, and that is the contagion prevention. It's now more important than ever, because as long as we do not have this active, we get a penalty now. Tension is increased. We get with supported quarantine or infectious badges. This one here increases my shelter demand, but it reduces diseases significantly, and I think we can afford to do this. So I'm going to go ahead and do it. We just need to have another faction on our side. And I think the mechanized sawmill would be the easiest out of the promises, because it just costs me a bunch of materials that we don't have anyway. The merchants would like the labor oversight or the service exemptions law. No, I'm not going to do this. So we're going to go with the machinists. I'm going to say I. And we're going to go with the mechanized sawmill as a promise, because I can just delete it again once we build it. There you go. That is a very important law. And we can now see that my shelter demand has risen to 26 now. So I just need to build me another housing district again. The next territory. Nope. Materials. Very good. We can save them up for later. There's the next one. We probably will need to implement them right away anyway. I really don't see that many other options. Let's also launch the expedition on these plains here. And then on this valley. There's really not that much over here, right? It's all dangerous. So I can't wait to explore this area here. And just see why it's so dangerous. All of it. Gonna build me another housing district. This one's gonna be here. With the food bonus. We're really starting to build this crater here. And by the way, my food additives will be over soon. So I will really need that area here. So let's continue with the frost breaking and opening up those food tiles here for us. There it is also. The herd provided success. We have finished that mission here and provided the food. So right now we're almost good with all factions except the Venturers. That's a surprise. And, ladies and gents, there it is. The tissue culture is now available. We have finished the research on the vaccines. So now we can use the industrial district to produce it. But if I do that... Okay. We still produce everything else, it seems. Yeah, we lose the majority on the goods, but we will now start producing vaccines. Base output is 8. It's getting increased with our paid essentials and efficiency bonus to 10 that we can use now. And we need to produce quite a bit of that. By the way, the next outbreak is in 2 weeks. So that's that. I think we're going to need a second industrial district though. We finally produced a working vaccine, said the lead researcher. Production has already begun. Prioritize working adults, of course. That's the most important thing early on. In my opinion, anyway. There's also a new research here affecting the plague. We could research protective gear. That's good for the menders. Distributive protective gear, which makes community temporarily immune to the cold plague. Or we use the cryogenic suspension. Storing citizens in cold chambers. Contaminated absentees die less frequently. This is good with the venture, so I'm gonna go with that. As we can afford it to. We have a lot of income, by the way, more than I need, and also my prefab production is through the roof. I will probably also go with another fuel stockpile for coal, especially, since my next coal production is over here. I'm gonna have another fuel deposit here too. And some more expansion here. The frost breaking. We don't have a lot of workforce left though. That's the problem. Ah, yeah, okay. Everyone that is contaminated and sick doesn't work. So this is reducing my workforce. Quite a bit. Gonna have another expansion of the housing here. And then a subsidized housing block. Cold plague spreads to Murient, another district. Getting affected by that. Okay, we can see that it happened now here, right? So this district here is now affected. Murient, right? And it's now plagued. So there are 357 now contaminated. Now we have an option that we can now use, for example, here in the next district, Barbican, and that is the organized filtration post. So we could use some of my guards, and we got them available, and the cold plague won't spread to this district. Vaccine substrate research speed is still reduced, which is fine for me, because, you know, we have researched it. I would like to get this district here immunized as well, but we don't have enough guards. So a watchtower it is, but once again, it's all about the workforce. I'm gonna reduce my area here. Now we have room for the watchtower. Now I'm waiting for that expansion. There it is. And now we can build another watchtower to increase my guard count. Very important that is. This district here will stop working now anyway, right? Yeah, there's basically no wood in there anymore, so I'm gonna stop with it right away. Guess we're rather gonna use my Frostland teams. And now we can use it too on Norwood, another district. So those two districts are now protected. And I still have them. So I would like to use the last organized filtration post that I can do for now on my industry zone. Because we need to produce vaccines at all costs. Right, so this is where I'm going to push the most. I would also like to add finally chemical additives. Food production efficiency is increased and disease is marginally increased. But we have the hospital to counter that. And it's also something that my machinists and venturers alike love it. So this should be a guaranteed success. There you go. Passing this law is important. And with that, we got a nice food surplus for now without any emergency measures. Alright. The low temperatures in the work district are taking toll. And force protection. Promise to increase temperature. Yes. I will do that. Temperature goes up now anyway. So that should already be enough. There it is. By the way, we still need to build that mechanized sawmill. I'm gonna go ahead and push this one in now. And then we can delete it again. Just a bit of cost here. There it is. And with that also another promise fulfilled. Trust goes up. Okay, we do have a lot of researches finished. There would be some cores. There would be lots of coal here, but we are full on coal. There's more cores here. There's even... Oh, wait a second. The automaton, we could repair it with some prefabs and using teams. We could repair an automaton, and that gives me workforce. I love this. Let's go ahead and do this right away. I will also need new inputs of material. So there is now the buried village over there. That gives me a huge amount of materials for a long time. I'm gonna connect this one to my city now. And I think that's already it, right? No, wait a second. We still need to get up here. That's still gonna take some time. And the workforce we save from this extraction district, we allocate now to this extraction district. So this will give me some time again. But we're gonna need an extraction colony soon, right? Because we are really running out of that. As we also can see, severe disease is going up to severe levels right now. The squalor is partly responsible for this. So I'm considering adding now my... I think we need to research that hub first. Research finished for the cryogenics. Now we can go for advanced hothouses, as a matter of fact. I'm gonna go with the one that reduces the temperature level rather than increases the sickness further, right? Because that is just wacky. And that's good with my machinists again. Because we have the food here, right? I don't want to build another food district. I rather push the efficiency of the one that we have right now. To get my levels stabilized. That's the research. Squalor is also, yeah, minor. And let's go with a moss filtration tower too. Oh, this needs to be in a housing district. Interesting. So I'm gonna build me, in fact, one housing district just for another hospital and the moss filtration area. We can build it here to maximize some heat stump income and use the temperature bonus coming out of this, right? Plus it gives me a bit of room to wiggle around some more survivors because we need a bit more workforce. So right now we do have 1,500 vaccines available. Why are we not distributing them? I see we need to have the special option activated for the factions directly. So we can also this way strengthen a faction and weaken the other ones. The laborers make up the biggest faction that we have, and that's probably the faction I would like to go for first. 750 are infected, and the machinists are the other bigger faction in the city. Oh, they're even... they're almost... and the machinists have a few more. So let's go with them first as my... yeah, that's 1,600 that we have now. Okay. And with that, the first faction has been vaccinated. They cannot get sick anymore. Children will not do maintenance. Nope. Alright, and this also is good with the venturers. They love this as well. Very good. Okay, food is negative again. My advanced drum hothouse should be finished now. There it is. So I can now upgrade this one. Be able to upgrade it. Yeah. To get more food production going. And we still have a lot of food left here. So I don't need to go with any deep mining for now. Or deep... well, I don't know. Deep harvesting, I guess. Lost 359 to the to the cold plague. And it spreads to the next district. Of course, I cannot protect all of the districts, so it had to happen to another district, right? And I think we should check out what kind of faction is the most powerful one for the next vaccines that we roll out them. We've also finished the next housing district. That's going to be important because here we can now have 2 additional buildings that help me out. The first one is another hospital to reduce that sickness rating. And the other one is, if we can afford it already, that would be great. Moss filtration. 91 more workforce. Something we can afford though, because this one here no longer needs to function. We can actually disassemble it now. That gives me, yeah, a lot of prefabs, a lot of money, and some workforce again that we can use for a second moss filtration tower to keep these parameters here low. Oh my goodness, this heat is catastrophic. I mean, it's a plague that is also doing it, right? But a second hospital will still help out. That's the... we stay firm on our efficiency bonus. Regarding heating, we probably could go into advanced coal mines. That's going to be pretty important for... go with this. Shaft mine. Pretty important once we will need to rely more on coal for heating. Can we activate this one? Not right now. Food is coming in. Lots of shelter we have. Materials are coming in right now thanks to my outpost. And the goods production, unfortunately, will need some boosting. So we might need to push another industry zones. Alright, I'm trying this once again. The guard enforcement. Because... no, actually we don't really need it because I want more guards, not more guard force. But I'm still gonna go ahead with this and try it out. I will need to, however, once again get someone in. The laborers would help me out greatly here because it's still not enough, right? It's very tight. I just need to build a subsidized housing block. And that's it. Let's try it out. The worst that happens is that I need to build a subsidized housing block. Oh, very good. We get it. We get the guard enforcement into my town. Which is a very nice step to get my ratings up. Subsidized housing block. I cannot build one right now, so I will need to demolish one and build it again. So we're just gonna get rid of this one here. There you go. We have enough housing. We don't even need it, by the way. Which is really great. And then I'm gonna build it again. Okay, we can vaccinate now the next community, and it's gonna be the laborers on the other spectrum of my factions, right? So not only favor one faction there. This will cure a lot of them again. And they're in Muriand. There you go. Does Muriand work again now? No, it doesn't, right? Because we still have them rolling here. But we can mobilize more watchtowers. Not required. Another industry zone is really something I would like to go for. And I'm gonna have it... probably here where we do have the workforce requirement reduction. Thanks to the hub that we have close by. So this is reducing the workforce requirement by 25% for this district. Which is gonna help me out a lot. And only with that I think we can build it. And here we can also now start with the vaccine production. And I probably should also get me a workshop going, but I certainly do not have the workforce for that. But we have doubled our vaccine production now to 20 per week. And I hope this is something that we can live with. Next research is something we should have done a bit earlier, and that's the scout training. Pathfinder scouts will get enabled with that, or the mechanized one. Wait a second. Let's go with the Pathfinder. This reduces the territory threat level by 1. That out, right? I'm gonna go ahead and do this. And by the way, we do have 2 research districts right now. I don't think we need that. So we could have another one going with... we don't have any squalor now, but... I don't think another hospital will do. We have 2 now, and it barely made a difference. I think it's really just because of the plague and scripted into this. We have catastrophic health. We have the food. We have the space. We do not have enough workforce. I'm considering taking in some people. And let's take these guys here, the closest one. So that we can continue producing more of everything. There they are. And with that, we do have now some workforce again that we can use to, for example, get me another workshop going, or, which I think is more important, to get me my coal industry boosted. I could also consider, that's probably what I'm gonna do actually, a scout's headquarters to further reduce now my territory threat level. Let's do this. Can afford it now. Look how my workforce fluctuates. It's crazy because of the injured and contaminated. And by the way, we can also distribute the next vaccines. So I'm going to go with the merchants now. That was a lot, by the way. And next we can now, right? What? But I've built it. Shouldn't it be possible now? Okay, why can I not go into these territories now? Why is it still dangerous? It should have dropped by 1, shouldn't it? I'm confused. Last but not least, I could also, well, cure some menders. We're gonna do this, increase my reputation with them. So this is a very powerful tool of boosting your reputation with the factions, vaccinating them. Right? With that, we're at 8,000 now, out of the 15,000 that we need in total. Dude, our citizens are overjoyed by the remarkable progress in producing and distributing the vaccine. However, many now believe cold plague has been completely eradicated and that there is no longer any danger. The plague is gone, folks. Come on out. Crowds are gathering to celebrate. Oh no. If the rallies is not dispersed or the entire population not vaccinated in due time, we will succumb. Promise to rush it. Publicly renounce it. Yeah. I'm gonna renounce these. It's just a bunch of venturers. And we have them over here, right? Okay, disperse it with some 9 guard squads that we have. And I'm gonna do this. They will abandon it, and the rally stops. And the next whiteout hits us, eradicating the last of my oil that I had. But we should be fine still, are we? Ah, it's cold. I'm continuing to vaccinate whenever we can, so we're at 10,000 now. Now, in order to survive this whiteout, I had to reload, unfortunately, because, yeah, as there is no way for me to get steam in, and also no way to use coal, I quickly had to rearrange one of my industrial districts that we built over there to add this carrion coal liquefactor, because this one consumes coal now that we still have in stock, and produces oil with that. And only with that do we have enough oil to survive this whiteout, as it's lasting over 30 weeks. That's a pretty long one. During all this time, I want to continue producing some food, so we need to keep the food district rolling right now. And we also need to continue vaccinating our factions, which are gradually losing trust with us. So we need to balance our vaccinations through the factions there all the time. I think until we've reached then the threshold of 13,800 that we need for surviving this. Now, do we survive this? I have no idea yet. I know that we continue onwards in the next episode of, yeah, Sleepy Hollow. Its tail. Where is it going? I have no idea. Stay tuned. Welcome back to Frostpunk 2 once again to Fractured Utopia, as we're trying to solve this issue here with, yeah, the plague. The cold plague, as we're calling it. Because it only appears during cold times, it seems. Now, I have no idea where the Patient Zero mission went. It just went away. It's just gone at this point. And there's nothing to be done about it. Perhaps it comes back after the whiteout. Or perhaps once we reach certain thresholds. Now, I love the vaccination for my factions, as we can always just increase our reputation with that. The whiteout, by the way, intensified just as of this moment to negative 70 degrees now. So it's getting just really, really cold at the moment. And, oh, okay, wait a second. There's also something upcoming now. That is, they are all now vaccinated. So the venturers are satisfied with it, it seems. The merchants are now completely vaccinated. And we will need more for the machinists, I guess. It's the biggest faction after all. Now, we are still also fighting our excessive disease, which of course is the plague, but for some reasons it doesn't really go down. I mean, 10,000 out of the 14,000 that we have are now vaccinated. So, you know, realistically speaking, this should drastically go down at this point. It's still at catastrophic levels though, so I'm hoping that something comes out of here. The Adventurers, for some reasons, continue also to get extremely radical here right now. So, fund their projects with a bit of money. Let's do this and keep them a bit happier again. But that's all I can do for the moment. Our new oil-based industry so far is keeping the city afloat. I will probably need to raise my temperature levels there again. You could also think about an overdrive right now. There you go. With that, everyone in the city is now heated. Look at my trust as it's pushing up again. Because everybody's now really warm during this whiteout. Some of those are even too warm, it seems. So we will need to get the temperature levels down for those districts here. They are burning. I've never had this before, honestly. 4 districts are also kind of like, I don't know, taken down at the moment. I think this should disappear then once we have everybody vaccinated. So these guys here are all now finished, and I'm moving on to the menders now, giving them the cure, and that's also everything. And the laborers are the last ones that are still going to take some time. Next research I would like to do, I think that's solving a lot of my issues, is the waste repurposing facility. We have the waste collection facility, and we got the... Oh, incineration is probably something I do not want. Really? The machinists are for incineration? Like waste collection, and then we have the repurposing facilities. Here I'm actually on top of with the menders, and they give me the least amount of materials coming out of this, I think. But we are drastically reducing squalor and also pollution. So, you know, I like the idea of this. Let's go ahead. It does cost me the most workforce, but we have a lot of workforce right now just sitting around. Okay, since we have enough heat, I'm considering activating my material plant again. We need to, because outside of that, I do not have enough materials anymore. And it's warm. Yeah, the disease thing is definitely scripted, so we're full on that. Nothing I can do about it. I will probably also need to have another moss filtration tower. There you go. Then we have 2. Yeah, we could have 2. Let's go ahead with 2. Because squalor is really high. I think it's because of my... There it is. Carrion coal liquid factor. This one is... No, it's actually nothing to do with squalor. It's just disease increase. And there the storm leaves, and we're coming back to normal levels. Fantastic. Let's turn off the overdrive. And let's also reduce the heat. So that no one, hopefully, is burning right now. Vaccines are in again, so let's continue vaccinating the community. Also, the laborers are now fully satisfied. And I think... we should be done with it, but we're not. There's still 1,000 missing. The community is growing increasingly discontent with the manner in which the vaccines have been distributed. Many feel forsaken. It's just this wrong. Sorry, but why are you forsaken? I just vaccinated all of you. Oh my god. Sometimes I just think humanity should not survive. These people, seriously. Let's get the waste repurposing facility into my industry zone, close to my city. It's gonna be pretty neat, I hope. And yeah, the storm is over, so let's immediately get my scouts on the way again. And here, in the central district, we have the last button, vaccinate population. Took me a while to find it. Oh, okay, that still wasn't enough. Because, oh, we need more vaccines still. Okay, it's getting colder once again to -50. This is fluctuating a lot right now, with 2 more drops coming in now. So I will need to raise my heat output again. And I will also once again want to push more vaccines. And then we really should go back to some goods production. So I'm gonna actually delete one of my... cannot actually... No, I cannot expand this one anymore. See if we have a better production. There's the goods factory. The basic one so far is producing 60. The goods factory is then producing 90. Yeah, that's as far as we can go. Refurbished one, temperature drop with squalor. And here we have just a temperature drop. I like this. Takes a bit more workforce. The problem now that kicks in is that a lot of people are not working right now. I think because of the injured... No, because of the quarantine. I will definitely need to get some more survivors in. So let's take 1,400 Frostland dwellers over here. And there's a bunch more. Okay, got 700 vaccine again. There it is. Perfect. We've risen to the challenge and successfully battled the lethal cold plague. Our people are finally safe and do not need to fear the deadly sickness any longer. You have successfully finished the plague tale. Guardian Bell Tower is now unlocked and can be built. Our people were gripped by fear when the deadly sickness knocked at our door. In the face of terrible despair, we remained strong, we fought and at last defeated the terrible cold plague. We're saved. Resilient and determined, your people stand by you. And we can now build this special building. Survivors are coming in. With that, we can get more Frostland teams on the way again. And the ones that we have right now, there's also my goods factory. The ones that we have right now, one of them is gonna take in some more survivors that we have on the map. There would be even more master and servants. There it is, so we can upgrade now the existing one. We probably will still need another industrial zone. That is something we could get out soon. Food-wise, I will probably need to raise this again. There you go. So now we have materials, food, and housing balanced. Oil is going up. Coal is still going down, so this will need to... Efficient heating is another one of my researches that we haven't done yet. This is reducing the heat allocation level by 5 down from 30. Right, so this is per district, of course. So that is adding up a lot. And I think it's also time now to build another industry zone. We're probably going to do this towards... let's just see. We do have an industry zone here. There is my material one. We should probably just deplete this one now. It's 1 week. There you go. This one's totally out now forever. So we can just basically dismantle the whole thing. And I'm probably just going to add another industry zone now here. But I'm going to keep a bit of a distance there so that we can add some heater hub in the center. So this one here. Cost me a bit of workforce and a bit of material demand. But you can squeeze this one in and this increases the temperature level of this area here by 1. So this is quite valuable, I think. And then we can have our industry district here. I wonder why this one here is not available yet. There you go. Okay, now we can do this. And we get now the workforce boost from this one. And then we should be getting the heating from this one. And now by happiness. There it is. This is getting significantly boosted now. This industry zone here that we are building up. I can, by the way, also enable now this coal area here again. And I would like to expand it so that we can afford the deep mining. And by the way, researching wise, advanced coal mine. I will also need to get this one on the way. And I'm gonna go with that one. Because I do not want to increase my squalor more than I have to. There it is. Pushing my goods production again. And of course we're once again also going to have a goods factory in here. And here we're now going to go in with the deep melting drill. And this unlocks us then the deep deposit in this coal mine. And I think we can do it. Yep, we can also go with the advanced coal mine in here now. And by the way, I totally missed it. We also need it, of course, for the food. Because the food was out. Now it's working again. So this also needs the deep one. Oh god, more people. For some miracle, we're still positive on the food. But we need another housing district once more. There's the advanced shaft coal mine. It's producing more than twice as much coal. Thing is, we are actually full on, or actually we're surplusing coal right now, which is a surprise to me. The deep melting one. Oh, I see the deep melting drill actually also adds efficiency on top of it. I thought it was only unlocking it. Efficiency is extremely increased with it. Perfect. So we have more than enough right now. I can even lower my production as it stands right now. Manda's rally builds support. Manda should look for and recruit volunteers. Organize rescue parties. So Stuart, the Mandas have started gathering for periodic rallies. They are praising you. The Mandas draw attention with their peculiar suits, seemingly made from scraps and random patches. And they're suggesting several things they believe will improve the city even further. Will this, however... Yeah, I think it will increase their faction power, right? They're still small. Main problem I'm facing is my last extraction zone for materials is gonna run out now soon. And we don't have anything else on the map, right? So we still have some materials left, but it's gonna be an end soon. I haven't found a material site yet. So I'm gonna get me the salvaging here. This gives me another 50,000. Yeah, gonna wait for that until we drop below 50. And then I'm gonna get this one in. We have now negative 70 permanently, and that means that also my insulation so far is not enough anymore. So all these houses are now cold. Let's check it out real quick if we have anything else in addition that we can do here. And engineer teams in the heat dispatch and control center now use pressurized valves to tune up district heating even further, maximizing the heat utilization. I have no idea what it is. You need to construct these in the district. It increases squalor slightly, but increases the temperature level by 3. Let's go ahead and do this. Do I not have temperature? Really surprised that my insulation is already running out now. One of the main things I can still do is the heating hub. So for this I left some spots available, so we can now heat the surrounding area. Here for example, so this is going to be quite nice for that side. And here we can boost those two districts. This one's already boosted. I would definitely need this as well over here for the food district, because this one's too cold right now. And let's expand this housing here. Also with another subsidized housing block. Two temperature levels up there. Very good. There's also our heater coming along. Look at that. Oh, they're locking to it. And yeah, this should really add a lot. Okay, there's also now the new building that we've just researched. Pressurized heat dispatcher. And this one, as a matter of fact, needs to be placed right on top of it. It only maximizes the heat of this district. Ooh, this is bad actually. Not really something I can work with. Okay, got some new stuff here. Coal. More materials. Let's take them. There's lots of oil waiting here. And a core. Alright, the problem is still materials. We still haven't found any material site. Let's go for this. Despite the risk of injuries, I don't care. We need to find something. Got another Mendes protest. I'm gonna use my guards to drench this. Taking care that there's nothing else coming out of it. Okay, the next extraction district is finished, so I'm gonna salvage this one. Get the materials out of it. That's another district we do not need to heat, so that's gonna help me out a bit. The main problem really is the freaking materials. Crazy. Okay, there is a material delivery possible for us. I'm gonna do this, of course. Where's my city delivery? It's over there, so I will need to create a new one here. Get into my city. This will take quite some time to establish. And I would also like to get... Oh, there's even more materials. There it is. the salvaging. I would like to do this. And then I would like to take those 200 materials here as well. This will take some time. It's a very long route. To connect us with the city next weeks. 3,000 people joined. Hooray. Wasn't my choice. We're still positive on food. And we can't get another subsidized housing block going. We have enough hospitals for now, so I'm feeling fine with it. The problem will continue being my materials. Okay, I think we got another district over here. 250 materials, very good. I think we got enough now. Coming out of the passive bonuses. But we still haven't found a proper site to build a colony. Just before the whiteout hit, we got another 3,000 people joining us, our small community. And in that case, this unfortunately requires us to have yet another housing district once more. One that we will not be able to so easily heat anymore, right? So I do have the bonus coming out of my reindeers over there. That's about it. And with that, the heat or the storm hits us again. We're full on fuel though, so I'm very confident that we can, yeah, still overcome this. However, it will now be very chilly in those districts. The whiteout lasts for 30 weeks, so we gotta be careful about that. We have enough food, so we could... Can we turn it off? No, we cannot turn it off. We don't have enough food then. I'm gonna turn off though my logistics, because this allocates some of the heat from them to the center, right? So every time we do this, we do save some more heat. I can do this for my coal. Very nice. I can do this for my industry zone here. For both of them, in fact. There is the housing district, so at least housing is fine. Food is fine. Fuel is fine. Metals or materials are, yeah, a bit negative, but we should be able to overcome this. Let's just keep this rolling for now, and then I'm gonna overdrive. Right, and that should be fine then again. Sickness rises now a bit. That's still fine though, as we have 2 hospitals doing the job for us. Plus, it doesn't hurt to lose a few people. We have too many. There's a lot of people coming in. Let's overdrive for now to allocate some more heat into the central districts here, right? So that those districts, they a bit more heated. I did build another heat hub though, but it wasn't quite enough. And I think we would have another hyperdrive regulator, but this cost me 40 cores, so nothing I can do about that right now. We're negative 90, so that's basically as worse as it can get, I think. Right? We're running low on oil now. I mean, not really, but, you know, it was quite negative. And there it is. The storm leaves again. Everybody's hopefully happy. And because we have survived the storm and the plague, I'm gonna build me something. I'm gonna build me a monument, because that's now in the game. And that's the bell tower. Let's place this one here. This reduces the disease rating of the surrounding area, funnily enough. And by the way, once again, we have some boiling districts here that I will need to fix. And there's now our monument coming along. Another warmer season comes upon us. Negative 60 now. The trust goes up. Everything here is basically stable now. The oil is coming in. And to celebrate our victory over this, we've built now the bell tower, the monument that decreases the diseases in the neighboring districts. I was hoping for, you know, increasing like trust in me or so. But outside of that, it's fine. This has been a fun scenario that was introduced. The other one would be another faction that you have to fight. So if you're interested in that, please let me know. Outside of that, this marks the end of this Let's Play, as we've basically overcome the challenges that this scenario provides. And yeah, it was also a fun visit back to this classical city builder, survival city builder that is. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned.